sense of it. In this hour, stories of how time can change the way we understand life. Our first story comes from Otis Gray. Otis told this at our New Orleans Slam at Cafe Istanbul, where we partner with WWN. Here's Otis.
On the other side of the street.
In the summer of 2018, after 7 years of an incredible relationship, my girlfriend and I were at a crossroads with our differences. And a big one of those was kids. Grace never wanted kids. I always wanted kids, so that was a big one. But it wasn't the only one. We were also living in Brooklyn, where she wanted to live forever, and I was reluctant to move to her first place. And she valued things like financial stability and, being able to go out and do nice, classy New York things. And I was a sculptor turned radio producer, so... And I wanted to go one day without talking about the apocalypse. Like, that was her thing. And it was also a reason for her not having kids. I logged into her Amazon account by accident one day, and there was a flare gun, a map of the Hudson River, and a raft, which led to a really heated discussion about not if the rapture was nigh, but where. In our Brooklyn apartment, she thought we were going to put a damn raft. We loved each other very, very much. But it felt like we wanted things that we couldn't have together. And no matter how much we tried to change for each other, it just felt like we were fighting the inevitable and we were growing apart. But I'm very stubborn, and I could not see myself not growing old with this person. And I wanted to show her that I could maybe be the person that sometimes she wished I was. I thought that would be like the brave thing to do. So, as a grand gesture on her birthday with very limited funds, I decided I was going to take Grace to Carnegie Hall. Classic New York, Humphrey Bogart, Grace Kelly kind of night. I got the suit, I got the haircut, I found a concerto on her birthday. Yeah, I live into like Italian words and the chorus. That's the point. And I called her and I'm like, hey, wear a red dress and meet me at the South Entrance of Central Park. I'm falling in love with myself at this point. So the night comes, and we meet, and we look amazing. And she takes my arm, and I escort her up the stairs, the majestic Carnegie Hall, to our box seats with the red velvet chairs and the booming architecture, and looking at a stage that Pavarotti sang on, and I'm just crushing this so hard. Like, just, God. As soon as we sit down, something is off. First there's like a whole extended family in the balcony in front of us, and they turn and ask, oh, who are you here to see? Which is a weird thing to ask someone at a concert you are also at. But I'm like, okay, no. And then the house lights go down, and the stage is lit, and this little girl walks on the stage, followed by another, and another, and another. So there's like 150 children on this stage, and we both know what's happening, and we don't want to say it, and they immediately break out into the most uncoordinated, nightmarish rendition of Scarborough Fair. And without looking, I can just hear Grace's jaw drop in utter amazement and disappointment. Like, this was so on brand for me to do, but then, like, this is all wrong. There's this Carnegie Hall, why are these kids so sad? Why is the music so depressing? Why does that guy have like the flip up sunglasses? And like some people in the crowd are crying and they're taking videos on their phone, and I realize I have brought a struggling relationship to an elementary school chorus recital. Okay, but then the song ends, and this little girl walks up to the mic. She's got sequins. She's like, I'm Sandra. I'm like, okay, Sandra, we gotta turn this thing around. I got a lot riding on this show. She's like, this is an original song about the poison water in Flint, Michigan. Like, if Grace's reasons for not having kids were turned into a musical, this was it. And then the Flint song ends, and this dad at the other end of the theater just delivers the most perfectly executed snore that reverberates through the silence of Carnegie Hall, for the first time we look at each other dead in the eyes with just tears running down our face, trying not to break out in the most offensive laughter. And in that look was everything we had to say. Like, this is the worst thing ever. This is the best thing ever. You're a total train wreck. You're a crazy person. I love you. I love you too so much. Are we breaking up? Yeah, I think so. Finally, intermission hits and we sprint through the lobby and collapse outside in front of a bunch of parents on a smoke break and laugh at their children harder than we have laughed at anything in our entire lives. And 2 weeks later, we decided to break up, which was the hardest, saddest thing either of us had ever done, besides sitting through half that concert. And what I know now is the brave thing to do is not to always just relentlessly try to make something the way that you thought it would be, but to know when to walk away from something, especially if you love it, and no matter how much it hurts. Grace and I are still really good friends, and I joke, that's how we're gonna grow together. And she's like, probably not. Statistically, with food shortages, it's just... But she promised that when the world does come to an end, I have a spot in her raft, as long as I promise to never, ever take her back to Carnegie Hall. Thank you.
Otis Gray. Otis is a radio producer from the woods of Belmont, Vermont. He currently lives in Brooklyn, making stories about people and food, and is the host of a podcast called Sleepy, where he reads old books to help people sleep. 6 years later, Grace and Otis are still best friends, and neither of them has been back to Carnegie. We are also happy to report that Otis is living a new love story.
Actually, that guy gave me a towel.
What's that?
He put his hand on his stomach and he looked at me and we did him.
Told this story at the Moth's 2023 Education Showcase at Culture Lab in Long Island City. Here's Ray.
So I never thought I'd see the day my sister would go. Me and my sister Brenda did everything together. We wore the same clothes sometimes. We liked to coordinate. It was the same like blue jean shorts and purple shirt because purple was her favorite color. And our favorite show to watch was SpongeBob. It was just something about the way SpongeBob and Patrick were best friends. And it reminded us of
So I throw out these two
how me and Brenda were sisters by chance, but always friends by choice.
These two broken
We loved each other so much. People would often say me and Brenda were tied by the hip because of so much of the time we spent together. And I mean, I didn't disagree with that. But people would also tell me, you know, Raina, one day Brenda's going to leave you because she was 2 years older than me. And at the time, I really didn't care what they said because there was never a time where Brenda did leave me. So
I think you should hold on to it
really
in 5
understood what
years
they
from now.
said and,
Go back and say,
kept it going
"Right, your
because my
two cents
sister would
worth."
never go anywhere.
One more time, what?
And so,
I think you should
at the
hold
age
on
of
to it, and then in 5 years from now, you can go back and say, I still got your 2 cents worth.
And it was a women's basketball game.
Would you like a
college
refund?
basketball, and it like resonated with me so much. It was
Sell it to
something
you for
about
$50.
the way they were like so strong and fierce, and how they played the game that made me want to play. And so next thing I know, I'm telling my
Yeah,
parents.
inflation made your 2 cents worth about 50
And
bucks.
so that's what I did. And because me and Brenda did
You owe me
everything together,
$49.89.
she began playing basketball. And that kind of became our thing. We practiced all the time. We went outside. That's what we do. We loved basketball. But we never played on the same team because, like I said, Brenda was always 2 years older than me. And, you know, it was okay because we got to practice together. But when I hit my freshman year of high school, Brenda was a junior. And luckily, we went to the same school. So we got to play on the same basketball team. And when I say the first season I've ever played with my sister was the best season of my life, I mean it. I've played many, many basketball games from the age of 7. And I lost many basketball games, won many basketball games. But with her, win or lose, it was just so amazing. And so school with the same attitude, thinking Brenda's not going anywhere. And people are coming up to me saying, Rena, like, how does it feel Brenda's leaving? And like, I'm like so irritated.